You know the saying, when it rains, it pours? Well, I've been home from my Mexican beach vacation for exactly 1 week tomorrow. And since the moment I got on that plane to leave from Puerto Vallarta to come back to Kentucky, it has literally poured. Everything that you can imagine has gone wrong. So much stuff has happened. And I don't want you all to think I'm just getting on here to rant and complain, and I'm not, because life is fantastic. It's just so many stinking, stupid little things have happened since I've been home that I want to get back on a plane and go back to my happy place and just pretend this week did not exist. But it did. So I'm on here just kind of making fun of life and some, you get in some crappy situations. But I want to share with you what has happened in 7 days. You're not going to believe all the crap. So first, Randy and I flew home from Puerto Vallarta on a Friday. We have 2 flights, Puerto Vallarta to Dallas, Dallas to Nashville, and then we have a 2-hour car ride home. So everything is hunky-dory. Our flights are pretty much on schedule, and I'm like, all righty. So we're getting ready to board our second flight in Dallas, and I said, you know what? I would love a mint. Do you have any mints? And my husband said, no, I don't have any mints. So I went into the little gift shop, and I bought a little tin can of mints, some Altoid cinnamon mints, and they say curiously strong mints. I'm like, okay, but they had no other option. So we get on the plane. I'm in the middle seat. My husband's on the aisle. There's another guy beside me, and we're getting ready to take off. We're like, hanging out on the runway. And I take a mint. And all of a sudden, my nose starts running and running. I have no tissues. I can't get up from my seat. The plane is in motion. So I asked my husband, I said, do you have a tissue in your bag? He said, no, I don't have a tissue. Well, my nose is literally running down my face. Well, he's eating one of these mints too, and we're both talking about, wow, this is some cinnamon mint. But I said, look what's happening. And he's joking, saying that cinnamon must have got your sinuses opened up or something. And so it is so bad that I'm like, trying to wipe it on my hand like this. But there's nothing I can do. So I kind of turned my back from this stranger who's sitting here because, snot's running down my nose. And I just kind of sit this way facing my husband until we take off. And they turn off the sign saying that you can get up. And he goes and gets me some tissues out of the bathroom. And I'm blowing my nose. The whole entire 2-hour flight, my nose is running. And then it starts to stop up. So we make it home Friday night. Come in, we're greeted by Maxie and Pollux and Lola. The whole fiasco where Pollux and Lola got loose. They spent 7 hours out in the wild. It was a whole vacation nightmare. If you did not see that video, I will link it right up here. You do not need to miss that video. So we come in, we get tail wags and kisses and hugs and all the things. We start to unpack. We go to bed, and I get in bed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot breathe. So I get up. I take a Sudafed, which I should have known that is a no, that late at night. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I get back in bed. I still cannot breathe. It's like, boom, totally stopped up. So I get out my Afrin, put some Afrin in my nose. Finally, I can breathe. I go to sleep. Get up at 6 o'clock the next morning, and I have a full-on head congestion. I cannot breathe mess happening. And so Randy is like, oh my gosh, what did you catch in Mexico? I'm like, I got nothing. I swear it was this little mint. All day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday, and all day Tuesday, I could not breathe. Wednesday and today, I'm finally starting to get some movement in my head. I've not taken any medicine, no Tylenol, no Sudafed, no Afrin. Lola's down here wanting some pets, and I'm finally feeling a little bit back to normal. I just have congestion in my ears and in my sinuses. And if you all noticed in the video where I was telling you about Pollux and Lola and their little adventure out, 5 days before we were supposed to come home, something absolutely unthinkable happened. I sounded stuffed up, and I was. It was because I couldn't breathe. So Saturday morning, I wake up, I have a stuffed up nose. We have been gone for over 3 weeks. There is not a stitch of food in our house. So because we've been eating out for 3 weeks, I made a grocery list. I was going to cook all these meals. I go do the grocery shopping, and now it's Saturday night and I'm starting to cook dinner. Don't actually remember what I was cooking, but I needed the oven turn on the oven, and I'm waiting for it to heat up, and I'm waiting for it to heat up, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and it will not get past like 250 degrees. So I said to Randy, what the heck is going on? Why won't the oven heat up? He's like, oh, we've just been gone for a long time. It probably just needs to get back in the groove of things. Okay, so I wait another 20 minutes. The oven will not heat up. He looks inside. The heating element is out. The top one's fine. The bottom one out. So he gets on Amazon. He's trying to find the correct heating element. We have a GE profile oven and stove. Orders it, supposed to be here Wednesday. Of course, it does not show up. It's delayed. It finally just showed up a few minutes ago, but forget it. I'm over it. I've been cooking stuff on the stovetop all week. We're just going to go to Cracker Barrel tonight and we'll get the heating element installed and be back in business this weekend. So Saturday, in the midst of all the shopping and the things, I'm trying to put new sheets on the bed and I'm trying to get the house cleaned up, and I'm looking around and two things have happened. Number one, Pollux, because he likes to lay on our bed when we're not home, has dug a hole, made a nest apparently every day, and torn a hole. And I'm talking basically ripped the side off of our comforter. I love the comforter. We've only had it a couple months. It's inexpensive. Got on Amazon, ordered a brand new one. It showed up yesterday. Thank goodness that was an easy fix. And issue number two was when all of the people were at our house looking for the dog. So many people, the yard was wet, it had been raining, there had been snow on the ground, everybody is marching in and out of the house from the back door and the front door. Our carpets, the rugs were a muddy mess, and I wish I had taken a video for you all, but I don't mean just a little bit dirty, I mean muddy, chunky footprints. So I went to my dad's and borrowed his like stand-up heavy-duty carpet cleaner, and I've spent the past 2 days cleaning the rugs and the carpets, and I was so impressed with this carpet cleaner. I went upstairs yesterday and started doing spot cleaning on old spots that have been in our carpet for years, and it got the majority of them up. So I know I'm going to have to give him back his carpet cleaner, and I think I'm going to buy one for myself. The sun is finally streaming in today. I had to move my camera because since I have been home, we have had no sunshine. It has been freezing cold. It has been windy. It has been gloomy. I spent 3 weeks in beautiful sunshine at the beach, and I come home to, so that has put me in just a sour, sassy mood, to be honest. So something that happened the day before I came home was with my father. You all know that my mom passed away almost a year and a half ago now. My dad comes over every night and eats dinner with us, or 4 to 5 nights a week. And while I was gone, he comes over midday and lets the dogs out to potty. The day before I was coming home, my dad had a dental appointment. He was going to have some dental work done. They were going to have to sedate him. They gave him a pill to take like an hour before his appointment, and my sister was going to pick him up and take him to the appointment. He took the pill at 6 o'clock in the morning. It apparently just really knocked him for a loop, and he fell down in the kitchen and hurt his back. So it's been a week now. My dad is down in his back, and I mean D-O-W-N, down, barely moving. He's been to the chiropractor twice. He's going in the morning to get an x-ray to make sure he didn't actually hurt something, crack something in his back, and it has not been good. I've been taking food over to him, going over to check on him. So was my sister. It's just been a whole thing. He has felt well enough to get in the car and drive over here a couple nights, but that's just been a whole thing. I hope tomorrow the x-ray shows that nothing's actually hurt. Maybe he just, landed on it funny. Maybe it's a little nerve or a muscle thing, and it will eventually get better. Y'all keep your fingers crossed, because, my dad will be 80 years old this year, and the last thing we need is for him to have actually physically hurt his back. That would be no good. So moving on with the list of things is actually the biggest thing that's happened. It's a very bad thing that's happened, and it is Pollux. So keep in mind, I got home on Friday. Pollux was great Saturday and Sunday, and on Monday morning, I sat down on the couch to have my coffee, and Pollux jumped up beside me, and he started licking his back foot, just obsessively, lick, 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 lick. Well, it was dark in here because I got up at 6 a.m. and I couldn't really see what he was doing, but I just noticed he was obsessively licking one foot. So I got up, I turned on the light, and I said, Pollux, let me see your foot, like what's going on? Oh my goodness, I could not believe what I saw. Now, I want to tell you here in advance, I'm going to show you his foot. I took a video of his foot, and it is graphic. It is bad. So if you are squeamish and you don't want to know what's going on with his foot, you can listen to what I'm explaining, but turn your head because you are not going to want to see his foot. Here comes the video. This is Pollux's foot. There is a literal hole in the top of his foot. The fur is gone. This hole in his foot is oozing. It is wet. It is disgusting. I don't know what this is. It was not here the night before. I have been on the phone with the vet trying to get an appointment. They were completely booked up that day. I got an appointment with the vet the first thing the next morning, and here is a video of us at the vet. Pollux was the best boy at the vet, but I'll tell you, I know his foot hurt because the day that I saw his foot, we could not get an appointment. I put hydrogen peroxide on his foot to try to clean the wound. He did not like that. I had nothing that I could put on it that if he licked it was okay for him to ingest. So I went to the grocery store and got some pet safe, kind of like what I thought was a pet Neosporin, and I put it on there a couple times. It would last a little bit. He would just lick it off, and I know his foot hurt. I felt so bad for him. But we got to the vet. They did an x-ray to make sure there was nothing stuck in his foot. X-ray was clear. They did blood work to make sure he did not have an infection. Everything was good. So the vet thinks one of three things happened. On Pollux's little day out with Lola, he either got bit by a snake, got bit by a spider, or the most likely option, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact word that the vet used, but basically a seed or a piece of wheat or grass got poked into the top of Pollux's foot when he was running, and because his foot, it's kind of gross, is warm and moist, and that seed got embedded in there, that over the course of the week, it bloomed, it blossomed. You know, seeds grow, they sprout grass, and Sunday night during the night or first thing Monday morning, that piece of grass got festered up and worked its way out, and that's why there's a big yucky hole in the top of his paw. Isn't that nice? So the vet told me to order silver honey spray and an inflatable blow-up ring to put around his neck, which is like a modern day version of an old school cone that you'd put on your dog. That will keep him from licking his foot. He also prescribed an antibiotic, a painkiller, and an anti-inflammatory that he will take twice a day for the next week. So every day I have to put Pollux in the bathtub. I have to use the little shower massager. Thank goodness we bought that pet whole bathroom spray system, bath system thing. I'm using it. I have to take lukewarm water, spray it on Pollux's foot for up to 5 minutes every single day to keep that wound flushed out and clean, dry it off really well, and spray it with that silver honey spray 2 times a day. So Pollux does not like stuff around his neck. He hates to wear a collar, and now he's got this blow-up balloon attached to a collar so that he can't get it off. So he just stands here and stares at me, comes up and puts his head on my knee. He will not lay down when he's wearing that blow-up collar. He refuses. So 8 hours a day, he's standing up. He is literally exhausted. He is falling asleep standing up. He is falling asleep with his head on my lap. Now, if I get him to lay down and I sit down beside him and pet his head, he will eventually fall asleep and his head drops down. And as long as I'm petting, he will stay there. But if I stop petting, if I get up, he jumps up and he's right beside me. So it's been a whole thing, y'all. It has been a whole week of crap. We are now on, as I'm filming this, day 4 with this wound. It is starting to look slightly, and I mean slightly better. When Randy gets home from work tonight, he's going to have to help me put Pollux in the bathtub. He hates this, but I need help. It's become a whole thing. And speaking of dogs, can you see little Maxer back here behind me? He finally got to the groomer yesterday, and he was a hot mess. When I told you all in the missing dog video that Maxie had not been to the groomer in 8 weeks, I was so mistaken. The last time Maxie was at the groomer was before Christmas. This is now mid-March. He smelled so bad. Had mats of fur. His beard was disgusting. I couldn't even see his little eyes because his eyebrows had grown out so much. So he finally went to the groomer. And when she was done with him and I opened the door yesterday and he was on the little table, oh my gosh, he looked adorable. She put the cutest little bow tie on him. He is fresh. He is handsome. He smells good. I know he feels better. When he was gone, I washed all the bedding, all the dog blankets, anything that the dogs have ever or could have ever touched or laid on. So everything is fresh and new, including Mr. Maxer. And the last thing on my whole list of a shit show week happened just this morning, in fact. So before I left for Mexico, I had ordered a whole bunch of new spring clothes for myself and of course to share with you all. All of it arrived while I was gone. So I had a ton of packages to open. My niece actually came over and helped me open the packages and sort everything, and we were going to start steaming all the clothes so that I could film YouTube videos and Instagram reels sharing the clothes with you all. My niece got a little bit of steaming done and she had to leave to go to cheer practice. So this morning I thought, you know what? I have a haircut appointment. I'm going to come home. I'm going to take a shower. My hair will be looking good. I'll put some makeup on and I'll start filming Instagram reels, but I have got to get these clothes steamed. You all know I have that little travel steamer that I absolutely love. I plug it in. I've got everything hanging up to start steaming. I get about halfway through the first shirt. My steamer quits. Kaput. Don't know what's wrong. I think it's a short in the electrical wire. I took it with me to Mexico. I had it wound up in my luggage. You know how they throw your luggage around at the airport? And I think it's a short in the wire because if I hold it a certain way, it'll like sputter, put. I hold it another way, it's dead, the light goes out. So I gave up and I went on Amazon, and I really need more of a heavy duty steamer because I love steaming my clothes. I never iron anything. So I've been wanting one of those kind of stand-up steamers with the bigger tank, and you just kind of keep it in your closet. So I decided, why not? Now's the time. I went on and ordered one for myself. I think I'm gonna love it because it says the tank of water will steam for 80 minutes without having to fill it back up. So woohoo! It's high powered. It has a big nozzle on it so you can steam, a wide section of steam and do the clothes in just a couple of passes, or that little travel steamer, but it wasn't meant to do a high volume of things in a little bit of time. It was just meant for travel, and it did its job, but it's kaput. So that's been my whole shit show of a week around here, but I'm just sitting here laughing about it now. Really, I am. Most of the issues have been resolved. Things that broke, we've got replacements here or coming, and Pollux's foot is slightly on the mend. I will keep you posted on that. We have a vet appointment in 2 weeks, a follow-up. Unless his foot does a reverse and starts to get worse, we'll stick with our follow-up appointment and just hope that it's resolved. The vet said it could take a couple weeks for his foot to start filling in and regenerating skin. And y'all, I don't think I said this earlier. The hole in Pollux's foot was so bad, I could see his ligaments. I thought they were the ligaments. And when we got to the vet and he looked at it, he's like, whoa, do you realize these are his ligaments? And I said, yeah, that's what I thought they were. Like it went from totally fine to really bad, like level 10 bad in a matter of 1 day. But he's on medication. Fingers crossed we get this cleared up, and fingers crossed my dad gets better. So have you all ever had a week like this? So if you have, I would love to hear your story in the comments. Now I'll see you later, and hopefully on a more positive note.